Let me do something that I don't very often do.
Oh, no.
No,
Don't be worried.
praise Boris Johnson because I didn't agree with him on lots of things, and I thought the way he conducted himself in Partygate was a disgrace and he got kicked out of Parliament. But to be fair, on Ukraine, he took a strong position. I was leader of the opposition, and I said we will support the government. And so there's been unity in Parliament from the outbreak of that conflict and Russia aggression there. And I thought that was important. Boris Johnson thought it was important because I think we both took the view that the only winner, if there was a split in our politics here in the UK, would be Putin. He wanted to see division in other countries, and we didn't allow him. So I do think, and I've also supported Rishi Sunak on this, and Liz Truss for the brief time that she was Prime Minister, and I still continue to do so. So even where there might be small disagreements between us, I think it's in the national interest, the country's interest, that we speak with one voice on something as important as Ukraine, and we will continue to do so. And I've had the opportunity to meet President Zelensky. I went to Kyiv to see him, to say, should there be a change of government, there won't be any change in the support for Ukraine, because I think it's fundamental for Ukraine and for our own freedom here in this country.
Let me put it another way, then. Would it have helped or hindered our response to the crisis in the Middle East to have a Prime Minister who praised Hamas as a friend and literally dined with its senior leadership?
Well, Harry, I don't think the choice at the last election was a good choice. I accept.
But you backed Jeremy Corbyn.
I didn't.
You said his manifesto embodied decency and hope.
Harry, I didn't think we would win. I don't think we're in a position to win. But what's happened with Jeremy Corbyn, look at my leadership on this. I picked up the Labour Party. I recognise many people had not voted for us last time, possibly people in this room, and I said we're never going to put that proposition in front of the electorate again. I'm not going to say to the electorate, what do you think you're doing? I'm going to say to my party, we need to shake this up and change it. So I've changed the Labour Party. So there's a fundamentally different choice at this election. And Jeremy Corbyn not only lost the whip as Labour MP, he's now been expelled from the Labour Party. No Labour leader has ever done anything as serious as that about changing his or her party before. And so I'm really proud of the fact that I'll be judged on the last 4.5 years. I've picked this party up, I've changed it, and now I hope that there is a Labour Party which people feel that they can vote for this time in a way which I accept wasn't the case last time round. And I don't look at the electorate and say, you were wrong in 2019. I look at my party and say, we were wrong,
let's hear
that's
from the
why
electorate.
we've changed.
Nick, I think you've got a question about just this.
I do, yeah.
Nick.
It's OK. As Harry's been pointing out, you told us in 2019 that Jeremy Corbyn was great, but apparently, you know, it didn't matter because you didn't think he was going to win. And that means you're happy to lie to us then. How do we know that you're not lying now?
Well, let me deal with that in terms of the trust issue. I worked in Northern Ireland, as you may or may not know, with others on transforming the police service in Northern Ireland so that it would have the confidence of both communities. I said I'd work on that. I said we would change it. We delivered. I then ran the Crown Prosecution Service, and I said we need to change to deliver a better outcome, particularly on violence against women and girls. I said it, I did it. I came into the Labour Party and I said, we got it wrong in 2019 and I'm going to change this party. And I've had to be really tough to do that, and I've delivered it. What I'm asking for now is the opportunity to pick our country up, which is as broken as my party was in 2019, and change it for the better so that everybody across the country benefits from that. So my track record is to come in to say, I know what the problem is. It may be difficult, but I'm going to do it. And when I started as Labour leader, most people said it is not possible to get the Labour Party back to a position where it can put a credible proposition before the country. Said it isn't going to happen, you can't do it, Keir. I never believed that. I've delivered that change. I don't think anybody now says this is the same Labour Party as 2019. What I now want, humbly ask for the opportunity to take a country which I do think has been broken under this government. Is anything better now than it was when they started? To take that opportunity to rebuild our country and take us forward. And that's why I came into politics. I was a lawyer doing
Nick,
other
come
things.
back. Is this convincing you? Is this CV and a passion plea convincing you?
I'll be generous and say that I would hope that you weren't wholehearted with your endorsement of Mr Corbyn in 2019, but you could tell me anything now.
He's been
expelled. At the time, Sir Keir, this is a matter of trust. It's not about now, it's about then. Who were you lying to? Were you lying to yourself, or you were just lying to Jeremy Corbyn?
Look, we were campaigning in 2019 for Labour. I was campaigning for Labour. I was an MP. I wanted to be elected back into Parliament. I wanted to campaign for good colleagues who are now on my front bench, have been
Some
part
of those
the
people on your
change.
front bench
But I
didn't serve Corbyn. Rachel Reeves, Wes Streeting, they sat that one out.
Yeah.
You were there till the bitter end. Until then, suddenly you weren't. So, can you not understand why people are baffled by this fundamental shift you've had?
I understand that, and let me address it. I didn't vote for Jeremy Corbyn to be leader of our party in 2015. I didn't vote for him to be leader in 2016. I supported other candidates. But our membership returned him as the leader. That was very difficult for me and for our party because I thought that we were not going to be heading in the right direction. Everybody then took a decision about what they did, how we dealt with this. I felt that on issues such as Brexit, which I thought were going to define us for decades to come, leaders are temporary, but political parties are permanent, that it was important to have a voice in the shadow cabinet. And it meant that I could challenge on anti-Semitism, and it meant that the Labour Party never veered from its position on things that are fundamentally important, like NATO. Now, I accept other colleagues did different things, but I knew, everybody knew, there was always going to be a day after when we would have the opportunity for a new leader of our party and to make sure our party was there to face the future. And I'm proud of the fact that I was able then to win the leadership of the party and to put it back in front of you now as a fundamentally different party.
You're even more energetic than Rishi Sunak today. He's normally the one that never stops.